Welcome to Paul Unscripted and welcome to 2026. Good morning, Paul Cruikshank, CEO of RCL Foods.
Morning, Kelly.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
That's good. Paul, it's a big year for us. Paul Unscripted is going external. Big news. We finally got you over the line.
It's worrying.
For those of you...
To behave now.
For a lot of people out there that didn't know this, for just under 2 years, this micro podcast has lived inside our business. And basically, it started off being recorded on cell phones. Do you remember those days?
I did, and the technology didn't always work, but we've upgraded.
We've upgraded a little bit, and we've made the decision to go external. So what has not changed between the internal podcast and will not change between internal and external is the honesty, and it stays exactly the same, unscripted. Paul does not have a script. I ask him off the cuff questions and he has to answer. Sometimes he doesn't want to, but he always does have to. So initially we created this to cut through formal comms and create a real relationship and touch point within our audiences. There's no slides, no scripts, just perspective, reflection, and thinking behind the decisions with a touch of insight into Paul, our CEO, and our business, RCL Foods.
And Kelly, we will still have guests that will come in from time to time?
Absolutely. But this time we might have some external guests.
Okay.
They might bring in an opposite view on people internally. But they're short episodes between 8 and 11 minutes, voice only, minimal polish, all about honesty, and we're taking it outside our walls. Paul Cruikshank, let's start with a little sneak peek into 2025 and give some people
26 or 25?
No, back in 2025. We're going to give some people context on how you think. Every year, January, Paul comes out with what formerly known as a theme for the year.
Yes.
Last year's theme was simplicity.
Yes.
This year you've upped your game and it's now not a theme, it's a focus for you. Yes. Why don't you unveil what 2026 means for you?
So it will be performance through intention in 2026, which is a little bit of a follow-on from simplicity in some respects. And I'm sure we'll get to how successful simplicity and the previous couple of years' themes were. But focus for this year will be performance through intention.
And then you're going to run this through everything you do, right?
I'm already doing it. Already made some changes in December in advance of this. Did warn the exec team that things were going to be a bit different. And I also challenged them to come up with ideas within their teams to start to live this. And we'll spend some time with the balance of the directors this week and also start to drive it with them, because it's not about Paul, it's actually about leadership throughout our business and delivering on what we're trying to focus on.
So if you go back, so let's go back 3 years ago when you first started this kind of thing. We started on a theme of positivity. It was a time in South Africa we were going through elections, new government was about to be brought in, elected in.
And we're in the middle of load shedding at its peak.
Oh, load shedding at its peak. Maybe a couple of riots thrown in there. And the first theme that you ever came up with was positivity. And I think it was absolutely perfect for that year that we were in, as well as for our business.
Yeah.
The next year was simplicity.
Yep.
Where you were trying to take out the clutter and the noise. And this year, it's basically a simplicity 2.0, but it's performance through intention.
Yes.
Now, no good, what you don't want it to be is a catchphrase for the year. So I know that there's a couple of bugbears, which are your focuses under this theme, which we're going to talk about. Let's touch on them, but we're going to talk about it individually in a single podcast. So what are you, I'm going to call them Paul's bugbears, irritate him the most.
Yeah, so I mean, let me just start with time.
Yes.
And time is precious and time is few.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a fascinating video. I'm going to digress for a second, as I always do. A fascinating video clip, which was shown to me off Twitter. I no longer follow on Twitter because otherwise it'll highlight what the video is. But it broke down your life of an average age of 70 or 80, took down the amount of time you spend eating, sleeping, at school, university, whatever, studying, work, and scrolling. And the amount of time you spend on devices was unbelievable when you take it as a percent of your life in hours per day and years. So a little heads up to the younger generation who might listen to this: get off your phone, stop scrolling. It's one of my personal goals for the year. I'm terrible at it. I don't scroll on social media, but I do on news. I read lots of different news apps, and also the same thing in different words. It's very irritating.
So TikTok not number one used app.
TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I don't have any of them. Yes, I have Twitter, a Twitter profile, but I don't go on it. Get off them would be my advice. So starting with time, and time is absolutely crucial. There is only a limited amount of time, and I very well understand that you balance that between work, which does take up more than 8 hours a day, and also your personal life, your children if you've got them, etc., etc. So time is a big thing. So the key points would be about meetings, bringing it back to the workspace, because this is what this is about.
We're going to have a separate podcast on all of
100%,
these.
I'm just heading them.
Yes.
Meetings.
Because I want everyone to remember, these are your bugbears.
Meetings is one. Focus. People get distracted very easily, so you need to be very intentional about what you focus on. Be intentional with time. Okay, what are you spending your time on? I mentioned my personal little bugbear that I get lost in. And then be intentional with performance. So how do you pull this all together to get a better output and a better you? So those are my little bugbears, and that's how we're going to theme it for the year.
Awesome. I'm quite excited about it. We introduced it to your senior leadership later this week. So actually, I think the world might hear it before your own guys hear it. Paul, that's us with our first podcast for 2026. As I've said, these are very short micro podcasts with little snippets. We talk about the business, we talk about results, we talk about leadership, we talk about culture. We find out a little bit more about Paul Cruikshank, what his favorite thing to do on a Saturday morning. No guesses. It sounds like schmolf. So join us for the ride. Paul?
Thank you, Kelly.
Another Paul
and
Unscripted.
Welcome to 2026, everybody.
Absolutely, and another Paul Unscripted under the belt.